You can call in 646-257-3920. Cole from Michigan says, can we get some explanation on how this new tech isn't AI?
Which new tech specifically? I mean, a lot of it, yeah. Like the term
I think
AI. Yeah, go ahead,
I think it's because what I said. Yeah, I mean, what I mean when I said that was, when we think of artificial intelligence, we think of like what we see, or at least what most people do. We think of like what we see in like, sci-fi movies where like, it's robots that can think and come up with solutions on its own.
Somehow consciousness emerged from the technology.
Yes, and they decide to do something against its master, the users or whatever. But that's not what this is. These are just language models trained on all this data to basically put together human-like sounding sentences and paragraphs, and in some cases, entire blog post length, output. Like whether it's factual or whether the information is legit, that doesn't really come into play. Like, yeah, there are some companies out there who are now adding that as a feature, but like, and again, this is like, they're still basically just using search engines to like fact check this stuff. It's not like the AI is actually thinking.
No, you think AI is so advanced that you're still not using Bing, even though it's using ChatGPT now.
Right. Like this is basically what we're calling AI is just basically, I mean, it's called at this level when you talk about the actual data, like language models that are
machine
meant to
learning
sound,
too. I mean,
yeah.
Right.
But even that one can be misleading, I think. Like, what's actually learning? Is a machine actually learning anything? Not really. Like, it's
well, you could learn by just
themselves.
Yeah.
You could learn by just memorizing something, which is basically what this is. It's not like they're learning and like are critically thinking based on what they've quote unquote learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean that's what it is. I mean they basically fed incredible amounts of data from all over the web and all sorts of book resources and studies and papers and lots of social media content to basically like train computers to sound human-like and be able to put together sentences and paragraphs that they hope you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's not a technology that can explain something to you like an original thought. Everything has to be based on human output that it was trained on. Like that's the thing too. Like people keep talking about how like, oh, AI is going to replace writers and everything. Well, then if that's the case, then this is peak for AI because there'll be no new data to train it on because it's not going to come up with anything new. It's just going to continue to regurgitate everything up to this point. And then when it does eventually see data trained by other AI, I bet you'll get some really interesting and sort of like messed up use cases where AI is trained on AI and like, it's going to sound really weird. It's
just degrades in quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The further you're removed from like actual human experience, then it just becomes like it's like
there's nothing new to add to the and again, like that's why this is so frustrating to me because it's so anti-human. It's what a capitalist would want. Like, what if I could make a Amazon Prime show without having any writers? And that's just like that will never be capable because like the best that AI does right now is it's basically like when your phone autocorrects, you start off a sentence say Matt drinks, and then you just hit whatever autocorrect suggests for the next time, and it creates a sentence that sounds vaguely like you. This is just a more advanced version of that stupid trick that what people were like amusing themselves with in 2014.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's exactly what it is. I mean, podcasts have been advertising Grammarly to like correct your writing for like years, since like 2015 or whenever they came out, probably even before that. And that's basically the same thing, except technology's advanced a little bit further where it doesn't just correct your grammar. It can also, based on, all this data it's taken in, can also guess how to put out a sentence that sounds correct too.
What's funny, Bender, you posted, and I don't know if you can bring this up, but the whole Mars catalog, Elon boosters on Twitter were, getting in their bag about how impressed they are with AI, and posted this: AI can even browse Twitter for us now. And Bradley, if you could put that full thing up. Elon Musk had an interesting response, which is interesting given that OpenAI has no authorized X Twitter feed. But this is actually gets to a fundamental problem with AI, because like, what's that nerd who was like, oh yeah, we need America regulators, want to work with you, we're so afraid of this thing that we're capitalizing.
Sam Altman, the OpenAI guy.
Sam Altman, please help regulate us. We just want to be partners in this. And then the EU is like, hey, you're actually stealing a lot of stuff you don't have rights to go and basically throw into your model. You need to stop that. And he's like, well, we're leaving then. You're not allowing us to do our AI technology. You're going to be behind. You're probably going to be invaded by China soon. Like that sort of thing I find very interesting, because like, I'm not a pro copyright person, but I am a pro don't let capitalists steal people's shit and commodify it person.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the funny thing about that thread though is like Elon sort of classifies him as himself as like an AI expert. Like he's warning people about the dangers of AI while he's also starting. While he's also starting his own, AI company.
Right.
But, basically what happened there in that specific tweet thread is him not understanding what ChatGPT was doing. Basically, that Tesla fan account asked for like a summary or asked ChatGPT to pull up like someone's recent tweets. And, ChatGPT's only trained on data up to, I believe, 2021. So technically you'd think, oh, it can't do that. But then OpenAI came out with a plugin for ChatGPT, which now allows the chatbot to conduct web searches. So basically all it did was someone asked for recent tweets, and ChatGPT used that web search plugin to just literally scrape Twitter, like to search it like you or I could do, and just, regurgitate exactly what those tweets said. Musk thinking that, it seems to think that OpenAI was like accessing Twitter through its API, which is how it collected all that data to train on all that 2021 and prior to that data. Mm-hmm. So he's like, he's sort of made an error there that makes him look not so bright on this topic.